Hello, everyone. Phil Tingley coming back to you on day 48 of my 90-day video challenge. Kind of a little bit to carry on from yesterday, from what Andrew was saying a few days ago about feeling worthy and being worthy. That all ties into your self-esteem. There's some pyramid structure, I don't know exactly what it's called, where at the base of the pyramid you have your physiological needs. I believe, almost like Glenn Lerner. Jeff Lerner had covered this before. Glenn Lerner is a Boston lawyer that works here in around Las Vegas, Laughlin area. Anyway, that's a whole different story. So I believe Jeff has covered this before, but basically, or somebody has, Jeff or Todd. Your physiological needs is all your basic physical desires and needs: eating, sleeping, pooping, number one, number two, basic sex drive, things like that. Your basic physical needs that you need to survive, breathing, and urges. Beyond that is then safety, where basically you are putting in place a system that safeguards your physiological needs. So think of it, like employment, things like that, where you are building a structure that guarantees your physiological needs are met. So you have a place to sleep. You have something to earn, purchase, barter, trade, whatever, to get food and water, basic sexual urges if you're not in Clark County in Las Vegas, but next door in Pahrump. Hey, there you go. Or everywhere else in Nevada. So that's the safety level. And then beyond that is your love and belonging. That's where you start having, once you have your needs met, you're able to safeguard those needs, then you can explore out and have friendships, family, and sexual intimacy, where you can actually build a meaningful relationship with another human being, and also with yourself. Okay, it's one of the things I trying to part of my belief, or the part of what my purpose is here, what I believe is here for, is to help fathers who are abused, going further down the road, just abused people, period, realize that they have their own self-worth, that they need to love themselves first. Okay? If you can't love yourself first, you can't love anyone else truly. You can fake it till you make it, basically, or fake it anyway, but you can only fake it so long until they either realize that it's not real, or that it's not real, and it all breaks down. So first you need to love yourself before you can really love anyone else, or have that close intimacy with other people, truly have a family unit. Once you have that love and belonging stage, then you get into the esteem phase, which is self-esteem, confidence, respect of yourself, respect by others. That's where the self-worthiness comes into. There is another layer beyond that. I'm not going to bother with that right at this point. But the self-esteem phase, you can't, just like the love part, you can kind of fake it. I did that for many years. Always, basically projecting to others that I knew what I was doing. I was confident in myself that, hey, I'm a tech guy. I can do, you have a problem, I can fix it, no problem. Blah, 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 blah. I raised my daughter by my, single father for 13 or so years. People thought I was, an awesome, awesome father, awesome dad, because I gave up so much of my life in order to be there for my daughter. It's not that I gave up so much, as that I truly didn't think I had anything anyway. So it wasn't that I was giving up anything. It was that I felt my only purpose was to take care of her, because I was nothing. And I used to inwardly at least laugh at my daughter, my oldest daughter, when she would say that she had low self-esteem. At that time when she was in high school, she was going to drama club and being on the tennis team. Um, I can't remember the exact name of it, but we got into some international people's movement, but not movement, but program where she got to go over to Europe for several weeks, and it always made me laugh that she would say that she had such low self-esteem. And I'd look at her as like, you're doing all these things that I could only dream of doing at that time. I would never be able to get up on stage in a performance. Being on, a sports team, not, I play a little bit of sports here and there, but yeah, I was never good enough to do anything. And she was popular kid, she knew lots of people, had lots of friends, and it would just, like I said, it would just make me laugh that she thought she had low self-esteem. And I just look at her, it's like, you have no idea what low self-esteem is. When you look at yourself, when you look at yourself in a mirror, and be disgusted by what was looking back at you, that's low self-esteem. Sorry, this is one of those points that I've told you earlier I would eventually get to. So yeah, before you can believe in worthiness of yourself, you gotta love yourself. You gotta be able to look at that mirror, like what you see, and understand that, and know that that person has worth. That person has meaning. That person has potential to do anything. Not just something, but anything. And truly, until a few months ago, I couldn't do that. Heaven forbid for me to even record a video of myself. I did not like pictures of myself. I did not want to do, I detested selfies. Like, I would never do selfies. The reason why is because I couldn't look at this. every time I looked at this, I hated this. I had to keep asking myself, why the fuck am I still here? And just thinking about it brings me to pain, brings tears to me. As I was saying yesterday, at least I've broken through that barrier. I can look at myself and not be disgusted by what I see. I can look at myself and realize that there is that I have potential to get to. I have a place to go. It's one hell of a battle to get there. As you can see, I've got a lot to fight through already, right? Every day I get a little further. Sometimes you get knocked back a little bit. Trust me, the last, most of March, everything was a battle to try to stay, just to stay even. Get back knocked back a little bit, claw myself back up as much as I can. But gotten through all that. So all that worthiness part, that really builds into the self-esteem side of it as well. Once you can look at yourself and understand that you have something inside of you that's worthwhile, something you can share with others, something that even if I only end up helping one other person and I waste tens of thousands of dollars, never make a cent, it'll be worth it. If I can get that one other person to help them avoid the 40 years of struggle that I've gone through, the 40 years of self-loathing I've had to go through, then if I can shorten that by any length of time, then that will be worth whatever I have to go through to get that done. And I don't even know what was I trying to get to it on this video now. All this is, before you start shooting the video, everything seems to flow just naturally in your mind. And then when you're actually doing it, that's when all the emotion, all that energy rises up and changes everything, right? But so to get to that self-motivation or self-worthiness, love for thyself, it's self-esteem. You have to be able to look at yourself and realize that there is more to you than meets the eye. Famous Transformer logo or a slogan, right? There's more to you than meets the eye. Once you realize that, then finding worthiness in yourself is kind of easy. Those are the two really most difficult parts. If you look at things, the physiological part, that's natural instincts. There's, you're going to do whatever it is in order to survive. The safety part, that can take a little bit of work, but, almost anybody will do, well, not quite anybody, because, hey, there's lots of homeless people that are homeless because they choose to, because they don't want to work and whatnot, but most people will find some way to earn an income, to live, to scrape by, to be, to at least find some type of comfort in order to have enough safety to know that they can continue on. The love part, that is in the middle of that pyramid structure, and that is like one of the most difficult things to overcome. Once you can get through that, the next hardest part, self-esteem, believing in you, yourself, having confidence in yourself, respecting yourself. That all ties together, and that's, once you can get through that, then once you have belief in yourself, respect in yourself, then it's just natural that other people are going to start respecting you. They'll see it in you. They'll feel, I don't know if it's, haven't never seen an aura myself, but, people who can see auras, or at least feel it, they'll be able to, they may not consciously see or feel that, but they will feel it subconsciously. Self-worthiness will start falling right into place. I think those are the two most difficult things: love of self, and then the self-esteem. Once you can get those two things in, everything else, I think, will start falling into place. And it can be a long journey. It can take years, decades. Some people, it may just take a few days. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own time frame. So we can never say that one particular path is going to take you X number of days to get from point A to point B. Some people take longer. Some people take shorter. So all I can say is if you're stuck in that loop, or if you're stuck in that struggle, just keep as positive as you can. Read as much positive, reinforcing books as you can. Pray. Always know that God, universe, whatever it is that you believe is the higher power that created all this, that has some say in how everything runs, that it has belief in you, that it can give you strength, that it can help you through the difficult times. That says, God is with me, God is helping me, God is guiding me. Believe in those type of things. Substitute God in for whatever it is that you believe in. Because whatever it is that you believe in, everybody's believing all in the same thing. We just may call it by different names. And you'll get there. As I said yesterday, my turning point, my breakthrough point was going to insight, where I finally got to pierce that veil and got to the other side of that huge negative wall that always held me back. And it's onward struggle from there. Can't wait for one of these days to be able to go to Impact and no, it starts with an I. Can't think of it right now. But the next two stages, and before I get to there, I do want to at least go back to audit insight before I go, and I actually would be looking forward to going back as a helper at one of these points too. So everybody, thank you for listening. Sorry for no, not really sorry for my tears. It's part of who I am. So, some of the things I put out there on, I was trying to build my group and things. You have those negative people, the trolls, always trying to bring you down or whatever. Sometimes it's, I want to say, almost fun to kind of fight back a little bit, but most of the time it's just waste of time, waste of energy, Don't worry about what other people think. It's one thing from David Goggins, right? Don't. Who gives a fuck what other people think of you? Just, you need to care about you. Care about what your family thinks of you. Your friends, if they're truly your friends. Beyond that, who fucking cares? What are they? If you have the concept of you are the universe and everything else is just there to basically, I've read through so many different things, I can't remember who said what now, but basically you can think of everything as you are the universe, or you are the only real living being in your universe. Everything else is a projection of your mind. So all the people who support you, everything that is always trying to build you up, that's your positive side. Those are your positive thoughts, your positive energy that's always reinforcing you. Everybody who's trying to detract from you, tear you down, hold you back, bad things that happen to you, those are the negative side. That's the negative thoughts that you have that are out there, that you let out, seep out, that's always existing, whatever. So everything that exists is basically a figment of your imagination, if you want to think of it that way. So when you wish ill will on someone, you're wishing it on yourself. When you wish well on someone, you're wishing it on yourself. So if you think of things that way, and really this plays into how things go. Let me get a little bit of water because you can hear my voice is going. You think of things in that manner that, people have said this, I made my own little quote on it, that we are all one, yet unique or individual. So we each have our own individual thoughts, but everybody exists as one being. So that's how you can look at that. Everything else is just a projection from your mind of what your reality is. You build your reality. So if you think of it in that way, everything is really you. Why do you want to wish harm, death, destruction, whatever on anything outside of you? Because all those things are you. So if you perceive the world that way, I forgot where I was going with this. Start rambling and there you go. You forget where you were going. So if you can perceive the world in that manner, that everything is a projection of your own thought, then you want to take care of everything. You want everything to be as happy as possible. Because if you're making the other people in your reality happy, you're making yourself happy. If you're making them miserable, you're making yourself miserable. And there's, I'm sure you've all experienced that. If you're miserable, if you're having a terrible day, you feel sick, you just lost a bunch of money, you lost your job, whatever. It's like everything terrible in the world is happening to you all at once. Everybody around you seems to be completely negative and having, it's just piling more garbage on you, right? And then when you're positive, everything is going great. Doesn't it seem like everybody around you is doing great as well? Everybody else is happy. So there seems to be a lot of truth in that. And really, what is the harm in thinking that way? If you think everything is, even if everything isn't, even if you aren't everything, if everybody, it really is individual, what's the harm in thinking that everybody is you unless you want to take the best care of them? Where's the downside? As Todd Campbell put in for insight. It's a win-win, right? So if you think if we're all one massive being that's just spread out across the universe, and you do the best you can to take care of all your individual little cells and organisms that are out there, and everything's happy, everything's better, everything's more positive, everything has more energy to it, then you win. But if everything is individual, but yet you've propped them up, you made them better, you still win. They win, you win, right? So I don't know where else I was going with everything. I think I'll cut it here because it's been like 25 minutes. And, oh yeah, now I kind of remember the David Goggins thing. Don't worry about what other people think, because it's just you. It's just you reflecting back on yourself. And if you're seeing negative side, that's just your negative side trying to detract from you. Push that away. Who cares what it thinks? It's been there before. You already know what it's like. You already know what it's about. Obviously, it's not helping you, right? So push it aside. Who cares? Fuck it. You don't need that. Just concentrate on the positive side, the positive things, and everything will be much better. All right, so I'll cut it off from there. Thank you for listening. Sorry for droning on. Sometimes I get talking and kind of forget where I'm going. But today is day 48. Everybody keep feeling tingly, and love you all because you are me. Take care.